I just got done watching the Xbox showcase of 2025, which was this year. But I always seem to watch other people's reactions for some reason, and I just was like, I didn't know this was on, or this is some of the things I say to myself. I was like, I didn't know that was on, and then I miss it. So I've been trying to actually catch these things by myself so I can actually see what my own opinion would be on it. And this is somebody that's a casual gamer. I'm not a big gamer at all. Even though I like playing video games, I'm just not a big gamer like that. So, and I love video games. So, anyway, I'm putting my 2 cents in it. I watched State of Play. I thought it was nice. I also watched Gamer Fest. I think it was called Gamer Fest, Summer Game Fest of 2025. And I also thought they did a good job with that. I thought State of Play was fine, and I thought Summer Game Fest was fine. And so, reason why I'm uploading these videos because a lot of times I do talk to you guys about how I like to play video games or some of the video games I like. And so I decided to watch this because I sat down and I happened to see it was on, and so I'm gonna start dropping more videos like this when I catch something and I can actually see it in live. What I'm tired of doing is I'm tired of actually watching other people's, especially the big YouTubers, and watching their reaction and seeing what they say, and which none of it's bad. It's just you're watching their channel, you're watching their reaction, or you're watching their after show reaction and what they put up the next day, and then you're going by what they say. But what I am going to say is that I think that the gaming industry is just doing a really good job as far as trying to please all of y'all out there that likes playing video games. See, for me, I'm not that hard to please. So I don't look at any of this stuff like I'm quite sure somebody will say, oh, the Xbox knocked it out of the park. Or you'll have one where the Xbox Game Showcase sucked. Where was this at? Where was that at? Where was this at? They might be saving games for other stuff. Uh, especially when you have games that take 5 or 6 years to make and all that kind of stuff. So, uh, but I have to say that since I actually watched this, I kind of enjoy it. I really do because again, I'm not that hard to please. I really ain't. I'm just not that type of a gamer, which I'm not a gamer like most gamers are. Uh, a lot of times I'll be like, wow, that looks interesting. That's different. And that's my reaction to a lot of stuff. And so what I give them credit for is the fact that when I watch State of Play and when I watch Summer Game Fest, they are trying to please a lot of different people. They really are. And I have to say, man, I sat down. I was like, man, this is pretty enjoyable, man. I went to church and went to a good church service today, man. I got out, man, feeling pretty good, man. I don't have to work out today. It's my day off. I was chilling. I looked, I seen it was on. I was like, whoa. I said, man, that's on. I said, shoot, man, I'll check that out, And I sat down. I enjoyed myself. So, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to really start watching a lot of these things, man. And just giving you my opinion. Because honestly, guess what game I'm looking for? None. I did put my hand up in the air like this. I went like this when I seen Gears of War Reloaded. I did like this because y'all know I love Gears of War. I wish Sony would do something with that Resistance Fallen Man, but they're not. I get so excited when I see Gears of War because that first Gears of War was so freaking good. Oh, that game was so good. Man, so good. So anyway, they had Gears of War Reloaded, and I ain't gonna lie, you guys, not gonna lie. Man, Xbox kind of surprised me with the Xbox ROG Ally, that handheld they coming out with. I don't know, you guys. Whew, I don't know if I'm gonna get it because I really love my Steam Deck. A lot of the games that they got coming out is on Steam, so I got my Steam Deck over here that can play a lot of these games, man. I tell you, man, when that Steam Deck 2 comes out, I'm gonna be first in line. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. That Steam Deck is just is the shiznick. Is the shiznick. But anyway, I have to say that they have done a phenomenal job. And that's coming from a casual gamer. Like I said, I'm not hard to please. I have movies in here, you guys, that most people do not like. I got rid of some video games yesterday. Video games that most people just rave about, man. I got rid of Spider-Man. I got rid of Spider-Man 2. I got rid of Spider-Man Miles Morales. I got rid of Ghost of Tsushima. I just can't play those games. I got rid of all the God of Wars. Got rid of them all. I just give them away. I just don't have no use for them. Uh, you know, when it comes to those three Tomb Raiders, you got those three Tomb Raiders that just came out a few years back. I got those. I got all the Uncharted. I got that Lost Legacy. You know what? I figured out why I like those games, you guys, folks out there. Because when I play Tomb Raider, I'm just constantly going. Only time I stop is when I'm at the campfire. Now I'm gonna get back on the showcase, but I'm trying to give you a reason why. Even as much as I like Horizon Zero Dawn, people will probably listen to, you can just stay on the main quest, dude. You don't have to go off to the sidekick. That's not what I'm talking about. Well, that is what I'm talking about. But when I play Uncharted, it just goes straight forward. There ain't none of this. Oh, hey, if you go get my friend's dog that's up in the tree, I'll come back and I'll give you these keys and then you could turn it in and you can go do this. Oh, hey, could you go over there and talk to my uncle? Because he lost his son. He got wandered off into the field. You don't have none of that in Uncharted. You don't have none of that in Tomb Raider games. Laura is trying to survive. Nathan Drake and Sully and Nathan Drake's brother, they're trying to survive. The two girls in Lost Legacy, they never went side quest. Never. And that's when it dawned on me. Now, did I say Spider-Man was bad? Did I say Spider-Man 2 was bad? Did I say Miles Morales was bad? No. It's just I know there's a lot of stuff over here. Could you get this guy to go talk to this guy over here because he wants to ask him out on a date? And sometimes you can't even skip. They got so much filler in those games. Ghost of Tsushima, that's an excellent game. Spider-Man, the swinging. Spider-Man 2, even better. Miles Morales, another one that's good. Nothing's wrong. Not dogging on those games at all, you guys. But what I am saying is I don't have that. I just when I was playing Nathan, I popped in Uncharted. And there is no, could you go off and do this? And could you go off over there and do this? Could you go get this for me and bring it back? It's none of that. It's just going straight through. And those are the type of movies that I enjoy. So anyway, I got rid of a bunch of games yesterday. And I feel when I get rid of something, folks, it means I have no use for it. It has nothing for me. Now, I know if somebody get that, I took it to Goodwill. A lot of people's like, why didn't you sell it on eBay or something? I didn't want to sell it. I don't have patience for it. I have no use for it. It has no value to me. Even though I paid for it, it's something I paid for. Oh, well. But I got rid of them. Now I know what kind of games I like. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm just telling y'all this to go back into the Xbox showcase and to go back into State of Play and to go back into the Summer Game Fest. If you cannot find anything that you didn't find that someone can play out of all the stuff that they're trying to pump out at some of you gamers out there who are absolute spoiled brats, grown ass spoiled brats, I might add, then you need to find another hobby. Because I was sitting there literally in the living room after it was over. I kept sitting there saying, dang, this is what I'm doing, looking at the screen. It's like, dang, they got stuff for everybody. Dang. I was like, dang. Everything I seen that I didn't think I would play, I was like, wow, that's different. Oh, that's different. You know why? Because that means that there's somebody out there that will play those types of games. Somebody out there will play those types of games. And that's why I'm uploading these videos. I told y'all, man, I got rid of Facebook back in 2013, and I'm definitely, I've been backing off on YouTube and feeling damn good about it because YouTube is just getting on my nerves, man. I mean, everything's just negative. Everything's just negative. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that was a waste of time. Why did I watch that? And where was so-and-so? What the? Really? Oh, God, like, take, for instance, the Xbox Showcase. Xbox Game Showcase, they call it. I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what I was looking for at all. I just wanted to sit down and be entertained. entertain. So I've seen a lot of stuff that I like. Am I gonna buy it? Probably not. But I said I like. I like that Beast of Reincarnation. That looks good. I like this movie called. There's this one called. I told you I'm getting that Clockwork Revolutions. I'm getting that. Definitely getting that. And then a game that looks fun to me is called Grounded 2. It just looks fun. I know there's a game out there was called Grounded. I might go look into it because after I seen the gameplay for Grounded 2, I was like, that don't look too bad. There's one called GROBONS or something. It looks like a bunch of it's this person going out here killing a bunch of stuff that got mutated. It looks weird. Gromas or Gromas or Gromas or Grumans. I need to see more because I wrote this down. Aphelion, I can see people playing that. It's called Aphelion. And then Mundane, I can see people playing that. Now, Mundane looks pretty good. It's this, looks like a Japanese kind of like game. Some Japanese chick is the main protagonist, and it looks pretty slick. And then Gears of War Reloaded. Of course, I got excited when I seen that because, I'm a big Gears of War. And then one I'm not interested in is Call of Duty Black Ops 7. I have no use for those games anymore. I don't have use for those games anymore because I just don't. Am I mad about those games? No. Did they did something to me? No. I just don't like them anymore. The last one I have one that I came with my PlayStation 5 and it was okay. But I have 4 Modern Warfare games or kind of in this Call of Duty realm. I think I got 4 games total. I like those games, but my main one was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That's the best game. And then Modern Warfare 3 was good because it just left off where Modern Warfare 2 was at. And then there is one Black Ops game that I like. I can't think of which one it was. And then there was one that came out, I think back in 2017 or 20. I forgot the name. It's where they something got blown up over in Paris, and then they had to go to the Middle East and fight. That was a good game. Folks, honestly, see, it's my money at the end of the day. I get that through people's skull. I spend my money on what I want to spend, and the reason why I'm saying that is because I'm just saying I'm talking about me. I ain't talking about people saying this in general. I'm just talking about myself. Sometimes when I talk to people, one of my boys said, Dad, he said, you spend that much money just for the campaign? I said, yeah. And that's all he said. And he don't play games like he used to. And I said, yeah, I love the campaign. So I buy the modern, warfare games just for the campaign. And yeah, look, folks, I don't mind dropping money for something I want to play. If I know a lot of times I'll play games and I know eventually I'll get back to them and play them again. That's why I went back to Uncharted. And I'd say pretty much I've done good this year about buying stuff. I just ain't been buying that many games. I'm definitely buying that Metroid Prime 4 that's coming out. I'm gonna swallow my pride, even though I don't want to. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the E-Day on my Xbox Series X digitally if they don't want to do the freaking physical, because I love that game that much. And I also noticed that in the defense of Microsoft, because I think this was Microsoft that did this. Microsoft Xbox, yeah, Microsoft. Again, you guys, I was talking to an engineer at work. I told you about this before, and I'm almost done. I said, I just don't get the concept of everybody being so mad about Xbox. I don't know why Phil Spencer and them guys, when they bought Bethesda for $70 billion, why didn't they just say, when we buy this, we're going to buy this to offset the sales of the Xbox console because we are not selling them. And we need to make this money back. And we also need to make a lot of money back on this $70 billion. So from now on, folks, all our games are going to go everywhere. And we are going to make games for the Xbox, but you'll be able to play games on the Xbox and the PlayStation 5 and on Steam. And they also said on some of these games that they was talking about they were releasing, some of them going to be on the Switch and the Switch 2. Think about that. You got, instead of all this complaining, you have the boast of all worlds. All. Not to mention Game Pass. But yet, in spite of all that, you got people just constantly complaining. I just don't get the concept. Like PlayStation 5, yeah, my best years was PlayStation 4 because it was the PlayStation 3 that got me jump-started. Now, PlayStation 3 is the one that sunk that memory in me that just, I still can see me playing those games in my mid-40s when I was trying to raise the kids and working all those jobs, and I had this hip that needed replaced, and I was going through so much. License was expensive, on probation, barely making ends meet. My 3 little boys, I had 5. 2 of them ended up not living with me. They was with their moms and stuff, and their moms did a good job, but you know, they were there. They went through the struggles. I know I was hard on those boys, but you know, it was rough back then. But you know, we bought that PlayStation 3 and it brought memories in. And then that PlayStation 3 put me into that PlayStation 4. That PlayStation 3 put me on that PlayStation 4, and that PlayStation 4 just freaking rocked for me. Rocked. And that's why I have such a nostalgia for a lot of the older games. Same way with the Xbox 360. Xbox will never be able to capture that magic that they have with that. But what Xbox and Microsoft can do is what they're doing now. See, I don't have no remorse about buying any of my systems at all. But what I can do is I can slow down on buying this stuff. Because technically, my life, I don't have time to play games like that. And a lot of y'all out there don't have time to play games like you say you do too. You know, things happen in life, you know, you just get busy. But when you have some downtime, either you got to pick. Either you got to pick reading a book that you like, or watching a movie that you ain't watched in a while, or playing a video game that could spend maybe an hour or two. You know, there's guys that are married and got families that are much younger than me that's in their 30s, and they play video games, but they said they had an hour and a half to play a video game, and they played it and enjoyed it. All this bitching, man. Sorry about my French, man, but it's just getting ridiculous, man. This ridiculous. And I'm sick of hearing it. So no, I have nothing bad to say about the Xbox Showcase. I just told you that. The game that I'm mostly interested in is Beast of Reincarnation, The Clockwork Revolution. I'm definitely buying that. Grounded 2 looks fun. That Grobbins grows something. It looks like mutated stuff you go out and shoot, and it looks like it got a lot of parasite on the walls and stuff. I need to see more of that. Aphelion looks fun. It looks like a game most people look like they'll play. I didn't say I would. Moondang. It looks like a Japanese type of game with this chick. That looks like a game that people would like to play. Gears of War Reloaded. Well, you know, of course, man. Of course. I'm a big Gears person, just like I am a big Resistance person. I seen that, man. I was in my living room, man. I put my hand up. I was like, nobody's even in my living room. I was like, and it's just Gears of War Reloaded, but I don't care. And then I ain't gonna lie. Man, I ain't gonna lie, you guys, man. I'm not saying that I'm gonna buy it. Woo, Lord. But that Xbox ROG Ally, man, that handheld, man, Xbox, man, I'm telling you, Microsoft is just rocking. And last but not least, is that I looked at each caption at the bottom. There was games that just said Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X and Game Pass. Yeah, I seen that. But I bet you a lot of people didn't see that. They're just too busy complaining about Xbox letting their games go everywhere. What else? I also seen that it was Steam. You know, my Steam Deck over there. Yeah, they had all this down at the bottom. It had Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Steam, Switch, and Switch 2. Seen that. Did you guys see that? in spite of all this, I'm not saying people are complaining, but I do notice lately, it's the reason why I'm backing off on YouTube. It's just complaint after complaint after complaint. Is it allowed? Fine, it's allowed. You don't have to listen to it. Like, I choose not to listen to it no more. But look, at the end of the day, guys, what I've seen, I'm very impressed with. I'm impressed with State of Play. I was impressed with Summer Game Fest. I was impressed with the Xbox Showcase. And I'm very much impressed with the fact that Microsoft is doing what they're doing. You daggone right, man. I can't get those these people constantly sit there and talk about these console wars and everything, and I just think it's over with. Just like, for instance, why would I buy a PS6 when you ain't hardly got anything for the PS5? What did I just say there? Think about it. Rewind. Why would I buy a PS6 if I already got a PS5? Why did I say that? It's because they didn't have that much come out for the PS5. So what's the point of buying a PS6? But you don't see me putting that on my channel and complaining. It's just financially, money-wise, you shouldn't go out and buy the PS6 whenever it drops, because you'll still be able to play games for your PS5. Your PS5 is a nice piece of hardware. Your Xbox Series X is a nice piece of hardware. Your Switch 2 is a nice piece of hardware. My Switch, which I thoroughly enjoy, is a nice piece of hardware. This Steam Deck, which I cannot wait to get a new one, because I'm telling you, Valve got something up their sleeve, you guys. All the updates and all the stuff they're constantly doing on that thing, and just all the stuff they do with this Steam Deck is impressive. So I'm almost done here. The point I'm making here is I enjoyed this, and I watched it for myself this time, just to see what I think. And I'm not hard to please. You know what I'm saying? So they had a lot of stuff on there that I thought that pleased everybody. And yeah, but I'm just telling y'all, man, that Xbox ROG Ally, man, that thing looked pretty daggone slick. I was like, huh? I was sitting there going, wow, it looks good, you guys. It looks good. Did I say I was going to buy it? I don't know, man. I don't know. I have to see more of it. But boy, it looks freaking bad. But I just can't justify getting another handheld. And in closing, I get it that people are upset what Microsoft doing. But at the other time, business-wise, if I see money not coming in, and then I change up, now I see money constantly starting to roll in, constantly flowing in, then what's the better choice? Because at the end of the day, you guys are not going to give that money to them. You think about that. You got everybody to sit back and get mad because you got the PlayStation fanboys, you got the Xbox fanboys, you got the PC. PC's just been kicking back, just looking at it, everybody. Everybody's starting to go towards PC, and they said it was going that way. Looks like it is, because look at me, I always was interested in PC, and I ended up getting a Steam Deck. I'm not getting a PC. I'm not dropping that kind of money because I have no room for it. But what I will do is, the closest thing to PC is the Steam Deck. But it is not a PC. If you really want a true PC, then you need to get a whole setup. But I talked to this engineer. He said he understands why a lot of Xbox console owners could be upset, because they probably would just, at the end of the day, probably just would have invested in a PC. And when he said that, I was at work. I go, oh, yeah. Because sometimes you got to shut up and listen to other people. Okay, I see your point. He goes, yeah. He said they probably just wouldn't have bought an Xbox Series X. If they knew that Microsoft's going to do all that, they probably just went out and bought him a PC. Because he said everything seems like it's going PC route. Even Sony is porting a lot of their older games to PC. So, but Sony ain't porting their games over to Microsoft yet. I don't know whenever they're going to do that. But I like all companies, you guys, at the end of the day. I like them all. I really do. And I'm glad I raised my three boys that way. They have their preferences, don't get me wrong. But they just ain't, I never raised them that way. I didn't raise them with the, you need to like this and you need to like that because I like this and all that. We just wasn't raised in that kind of environment, man. I didn't want them to be that way. So now, do they have their preference? Well, you have to ask them. But at the end of the day, we didn't have any of that. I remember one time one of my boys looked at me, he was little. He says, Dad, what? He said, why is that? What's going on with the Star Wars? He goes, why are those people so mad? I said, I don't know. I said, hey. He said, you wasn't that way when you took us to go see Star Wars. I said, yeah, because I'm not a big Star Wars like fanatic like those people. I said, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But then after so many years, I see what they were upset about. And, you know, at the end of the day, they have a right to be upset about Star Wars because they really ruined Star Wars. They ruined, like Marvel in a way, so hopefully they can turn that around, you guys. But anyway, God bless. Be safe out there and be kind to one another. And yeah, State of Play. I thought it was good. Summer Game Fest. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Xbox Games Showcase. I thought they did a good job. Congratulations to all the companies. I think you're doing a daggone good job of trying to please these spoiled ass brats out there. And a lot of y'all ain't spoiled. A lot of y'all, there's some of y'all out there like me. You don't know what you're looking at. You might say, I might like that game. That game's interesting. My friend might like that game. You see where I'm going here? Instead of all this, I gotta make sure I write all this down. I wrote stuff down, but I just wrote stuff down that I thought I might be interested in. But this channel is not going to be built upon hate. Just like, for instance, I told y'all I don't get into men being with men and women being with women. You know what I did the other day? I wanted to buy a movie. In closing, I wanted to buy a movie. So I said, all right, Vic, you don't like certain things in there. So I punched in LGBTQ plus reference in this movie. And it said it had some in there. So I didn't buy it. So I ordered a movie from Amazon, and I wanted to get that movie called Clown in the Fields or something like that. Clown in the Field or something. It looks really good, but it had some stuff in there that I didn't care for, so I didn't buy it. So just if there's things in there that you don't like, just look it up, and you'll see that you don't have to buy it. Now, am I going to be angry? No, because I didn't buy it. You see what I mean? So I don't want to be that channel about, this and that and that and that and this. I don't get into that, so I don't want to buy it. Most of my movies has a lot of that stuff not in it. Now, there's some I have that has that in there, and I kind of wish it didn't, but it is what it is. Like, I got that last Scream, and the last two Screams had that in there. And I think, yeah, Scream 4 and Scream 5 had a lot of that, LGBTQ stuff in there. But like I said, teach his own. But I wish they wouldn't have put that in there, but they just had to. But a lot of movies that I got don't have that in there. I notice a lot of games are going towards that way, so I don't want to get into that stuff, and I don't want to be that channel. But what I can do is I could see what I buy and research before I hit buy. Okay? We'll catch you in the next video. We'll see you.